I'm just calling to say I
What's up guys, Rage Quitting here, back with another video. Today we're going to do a Parse comparison test on the Fury Warrior, and today we're going to be testing a couple builds side by side. First up, we're going to test the Raging Blow build, and I already have an idea of which build is the best because I've been playing both of them for a little bit in PvP, so I think the Bloodthirst build is the best right now, but you know, just to show a side by side comparison, we're going to do the Raging Blow build, which is this build right here, and then we're going to test Bloodthirst with Annihilator, and then we're also going to test Bloodthirst without Annihilator and show you guys the Parse comparison there, okay? Alright guys, one thing I want to point out on the video real quick before we get started is I want to do the test on this PvP training dummy here in Valdrakken because it's the most accurate reflection of the damage that you would deal to a player target in PvP. But the problem here is that when other people are attacking the dummy and it's falling into, you know, execute range, or I'm not starting at full HP, then I'm not getting an accurate test when I switch specs, you know, to hit the dummy, because if people are attacking it and I want to wait for it to go back to full HP, then, you know, that might never happen. But just to show you guys what I mean here, because you do way more damage on this target dummy, I'm gonna go ahead and just hit this guy. My damage is already like really high, like much higher than it is on the training dummies over in Orgrimmar, but you see that Bloodthirst did like 49k, and my DPS right now was at like 50k, and it's slowly going down. Now I'm sitting at 40k DPS. So yeah, you would do much more damage on this PvP training dummy here, but for an accurate Parse testing, I moved to the dummies over in Org because one, the health remains 100%, so when it's below 35% HP, then we fall into execute range, and I can use execute a lot more often, which would throw off the numbers, right? So just to show you guys that there, if you guys want to test things and you want to use this PvP training dummy, go for it, but for the videos purpose, I'm going to be using the dummies over in Orgrimmar. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So first up, let's just do the Raging Blow build first, and for this build, what I want to do is we're going to connect on the target, and we're going to do a Recklessness Avatar opener right away, and then followed by a Odin's Fury. But then after that, we're just going to parse for 1 minute on the dummy, and then stop at 1 minute and show you guys the damage breakdown and just go through all three of the different builds. Okay, so if you're ready, let's do it. I'm going to have the stopwatch up right here. We're going to hit the start, hit all the buttons, and then go for 1 minute. All right, so here we go. And the thing about this dummy is that the health doesn't drop down at all, so we're not going to be able to get like into execute range to fully take advantage of the execute talents that we have in the tree, because we're purely just getting our execute, you know, on procs, and you know, we're not going to be falling into that execute range to fully take advantage of it. But we're just going to go ahead and keep parsing on this guy, and this is the dummy in Org. Because I seem to get higher numbers on the dummy in Valdrakken, but I think that's probably because, I don't know, it's a PvP training dummy, and none of these dummies over here are, you know, quote-unquote PvP training dummies. So let's go ahead and stop right there. I was hitting the target for like 2 more seconds after the fact because I was too busy talking, but let's go ahead and open up this damage breakdown here. So Raging Blow, of course, in the Raging Blow build, Raging Blow is your highest damaging ability. It came out to 470,000 damage total, with the high crits at 24k and regular hits around 11k. Rampage is next, followed by your melee attacks, and then once again, since we couldn't fall into execute range, execute is only being able to be used on proc, so I was only able to get 3 of them off, and this is the damage total for the Raging Blow build. Okay, so damage total overall 1.28 million damage. Okay, and then let's go ahead and try the other build. So we're gonna go ahead and spec into Bloodthirst Whirlwind, so without Annihilator. And so for this build, whenever we don't have globals to spend, we are gonna be spending it on Whirlwind. So if there's no Bloodthirst to use, and if we don't have any execute procs, then we're going to be hitting Whirlwind to fill that gap. Okay, all right, so we're going to walk up and start the timer, and here we go. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I get higher numbers on the dummy in Valdrakken, because on that dummy, my Bloodthirst were hitting for like 50k, so this is not 100% accurate to the Valdrakken dummy or damage that you would deal in PvP. because this is not a PvP training dummy, but the side-by-side comparison should still be accurate no matter what dummy that we're hitting. So we'll just go ahead and keep going here until the 1 minute timer and see if this build will beat out the Raging Blow build. So we got 10 seconds left. I'm actually gonna hit the dummy until 102 because that's how long I was going with the other build. All right, so there we go. 1.35 million damage total. Open this up. So Bloodbath was the top damage here, and the highest hit on the crits was 27,000. I think the highest crit we got on a Raging Blow was like 17 or something like that, right? So definitely higher damaging hits with Bloodthirst, and then Rampage coming in second here at 264,000 damage. So the Rampage damage total overall was less with this build, but in this build Bloodthirst was doing way more, plus the Gushing Wound passive dot here, and then our melee attacks afterwards. Okay, so for this one, Bloodthirst build with Whirlwind was doing 1.36 million damage totals. All right, and then now we're gonna move on to the Bloodthirst Annihilator build. All right, so here we are. Now we have Annihilator, and we have all the same talents otherwise, but nothing over here on the right. And now we're taking Storm of Swords and Annihilator. So here we go. Gonna get ready to start the timer and go. Well, I got a nice execute proc here in the beginning. So in theory, this one should be the top damage here because you're getting those Annihilator auto attacks to fill in for some extra damage here in between the globals. Once again, guys, take this comparison test with a grain of salt. This is not like the type of damage you should be doing in PvP. You should actually be doing a lot more because on the PvP training dummy, I do a lot more, and on player targets, I do a lot more. The Bloodthirst hit for like 50k, but on this dummy, they're only hitting for 27. But we're using this dummy here because we want a solid comparison without any other variables. So I'm going to hit the dummy for 2 more seconds here and then stop right there. So 1.4 million damage total, and the bleeds are still ticking away. Ended up finishing at 1.41 million damage total. So let's open up the damage breakdown here. So Bloodbath once again at the top with max critical hit of 26k, and then Rampage following in there with melee being next, and then the Gushing Wound dot, and then you have Annihilator passively doing 77,000 total damage, and then yeah, you have all the smaller hits with the Odin's Fury bleeds, and then some whirlwinds here and there when there was no globals to be spent on Bloodthirst or Rampage. And yeah, so the Raging Blow build did 1.28 million damage total. The Bloodthirst Whirlwind build did 1.36 million damage total. And then lastly, the Bloodthirst Annihilator build did 1.41 million damage total. So I think we know what the highest damage build is, and there you go, guys. It's going to be this build right here. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you want to copy it down below. And I'm also going to make a guide for this here pretty soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on another one. Peace.